be honest with you, in terms of what I've gone through it quite a lot over the last probably 7 years maybe, like bad. I think it kind of triggered with that when I mentioned that car crash I mentioned earlier. That was kind of like a trigger to like a ball rolling, I suppose, on the mental health side of things. And then probably about a couple of months later, I've never actually spoken about this uh, in depth, but yeah, and then it gradually got on more and more. A daughter had been born, and I was worried about the man I was going to be in terms of a father and stuff. Build all that in your head. Like at times I'd be going to put her to bed, and I'd be like, I'm going to be a bad dad probably. I can't do. Do you know what I mean? I can't provide for her maybe the way she needs to, or whatever like that. And you start doubting yourself with that. Then you have other things, and it all came to a head where I was literally driving home one night from London on a motorway, and I was just like aimed at the end of the road and just like, let's go. And call it. I'm religious, so to me it felt like God literally bitch slapped me and said, "Get home." And I did. I literally just I can't even remember the drive home. All I remember it going really really dark, really quickly. But I got back and checked myself into a therapy unit the next day, and that started to address it, which was, and it's still, and the ironic thing, it was on World Mental Health Day. That was a really ironic thing. So I was
Wow.
like, I got home and I was googling like, I was googling, mental health, and all the top hits were World Mental Health Day. And I was like, what's that mean? And then anyway, and then gradually started to sort some stuff out, and then it's been a long process, and it's not by any means like it gets done.
Yeah.
And you can have people say all the time, "Oh, it's good to talk, find someone, talk to someone." And that's easy said to done. But the best way I describe it is, and if anyone's listening to this and they understand what I'm talking about, it's you're aware that many people go through it, but to you it feels like you're the only one who is. And
I
it's
know.
finding that, and it's finding that way to reach out. I mean, but even as recently as last week, I was in a really dark spot last week, through some things that have gone on, and it's how you deal with it. I mean, my wife is brilliant. She's been brilliant with me and really supportive, and I've started seeing a actually a psychiatrist now. So there's obviously different ways of
Yep.
treating mental health,
I
and
have one.
you can have a counselor, you could have a therapist, you could have a psychiatrist, and it's just different tools to deal with stuff, and how to better yourself, and how to. I always want to make sure that I leave the world in a much better place than I came into it. And if that's me helping people do stuff in terms of, okay, well he's done that. He always comes across as a really positive, outgoing guy,
Yeah.
and to the most time I am. But then everyone wears a mask, to stop themselves from doing stuff, and sometimes maybe that's where the the comic comes out, shall we say?
Yeah.
Because nothing hides fear or tears more than a laugh.
A
So
million
you
percent.
you know you do that, and then you kind of have to live with it. And there's ways of doing it. But like I say, there was a time as recently as last week when it just didn't feel like I thought if I cry now, I'm not going to stop. And it's just one of these things you just have to first of all acknowledge it. I think that's the most important thing, is to acknowledge it. See it not that it's a weakness. See that it's not something that is, it'll be all right. Pull yourself together. And also the amount of mates who I've spoken to about it recently, or many weeks, months, years gone by, and they'll say, "Yeah, I know, mate," or even worse, they'll say to me, "You could have told me. You really could have told me." And then they get really pissy that I didn't think about mentioning it. But then it goes back to what I said, is that you feel that you can't. You feel like, well, they wouldn't want to hear it. But I mean, like even like last week, oh sorry, yesterday, last night, I went and met up with one of my oldest friends, and we've known each other for years and years. Like I was best man at his wedding. Godfather to two of his kids, and he's having a chat about some stuff that he's going through, and we just I went to his house. He lives near the countryside, And we just went for a walk for about 4 hours, and it is cold here at night at the moment. But you just, we found a tiny little country pub. We went in, had a pint, went on another walk, and just put the world. I wouldn't even say put the world to right. We just spoke about stuff which is going on, and it's really true what they say. A problem shared is a problem halved. But then you also get the thing. What he said something to me, and I went, "Oh yeah, I've done the exact same thing." Which he said after, like, really? Because sometimes who are you holding yourself? I always think, who are you holding yourself at the level at? We've got, my daughter and I have got a saying, which is "be your best," and she's added in and forget the rest. So it's that thing where, because at the end of the day, start with being the best version of you, and then worry about what other people are doing.
Yeah, I'm so glad you opened up about that, because it's like, so many people listen, and they, you guys opening up, or, what helps you, James, and then Oliver, which I was surprised. I thought it'd be James that
Well,
had the depression. I'm just kidding. No,
is that because I like to go outside at night with a telescope just looking at the planets?
Yeah, no, but Ollie, to be honest with you, I've had those moments where I'm driving in the rain, and I remember, I was doing a show, and I had to drive over this bridge, and just thinking, I'm so tired. I'm not in my right mind, and just, what am I doing here? I don't know. It'd be better if I was gone. I've had those thoughts. It'd be better. I'm a burden. No one understands. No one knows what I'm going through. No one, you go with that, because it just, you do feel that isolated. You do feel that alone, and you wonder why it's happening to you. And what happens is, with me, is I would be envious of my friends going out and having fun. I'm like, gosh, why can't I go out and have fun? Why do I feel like this? Why do I wish I was that person. They're just so, they have clarity, and they have, but you never know what other people are going through.
No, and that's it. And it was funny when you say, like, the whole "they have fun" thing, because the thing what really got the thing going with me years back, and I say this is to 2017, I think it is, maybe. It was a while ago, anyway, a long time ago now. But yeah, and I remember we went to. I was noticing I was going to places and realizing that I wasn't having fun. It was like
going through the motions.
Exactly. So we went to watch Ajax football team play in Amsterdam, and I'd always wanted to go to see them play. And we were sat there, and we were guests of the club in the Royal Box. We had Henry van der Sar, who is the like an amazing legendary goalkeeper in his own right, but also like the director of football, director of the club there, chairman of the club or whatever, who presented us with signed shirts from the team. We met the team. And I remember just sitting there thinking, like, I should be enjoying this.
Yeah.
And you don't let yourself do it. And then going back to when we're in the car, that came from, we were coming back from playing a golf course, which is like one of these super duper elite golf courses. You need to know someone just to be able to play that type of place. And I was driving home thinking, I don't know if I'd be able to play there again. I don't know if they'd want me to play there again. And you just kind of start thinking that, and then other things start going through your head, and to the point where I didn't want anyone to think that I drove off there intentionally.